I got a question for you guys. How do you keep a positive mindset when you're surrounded by negativity? Well, welcome to 2023. You turn on the TV, negativity. You open up socials, most of the time negativity. You walk around people, oftentimes they're negative. So here's the good news. I've learned how to navigate these things. I've set boundaries in place. I've pretty much cut all negativity out of my life, to include not going to Walmart and not having cable. I'm just giving you guys examples. And I'm going to teach you how to keep a positive mindset in a negative, loud world. Next. What's up, guys? My name's Chris Warrens, founder of Warrior Consulting. I just want to give you just a brief background about me. I've now built 6 multi-million-dollar businesses, exited 2, and help entrepreneurs internationally when it comes to building their businesses to the multi-million-dollar mark and beyond. Most people that I do work with are under the 20-year mark in business, and there are a lot of common things that I talk about and work on with people, not only in their businesses, but their mindsets, but also within my businesses. So that's why we're here. This is what this channel is all about. We're all about giving value, impact, hopefully influencing and providing you with some answers that we can give you the perspective of from being in the role for now 15 years. So without further ado, let's jump into the show. How to keep a positive mindset with negativity surrounding you. Often you can't. And that's just the truth. And I'm not being pessimistic. I'm actually being subjective here when it comes to all of the outside influences. All right. Meaning, if you keep negativity around you, you often can't keep a positive mindset. However, if you learn to filter out that negativity, you could definitely keep a positive mindset. And that's what I'm going to teach you guys today. All right. First things first, you got to cut out the negativity. So I'm going to tell you a story about cutting out the negativity. Many, many years ago, when I started learning the importance of this topic and I started really auditing where I was spending my time and if the time that I was spending was around positive people and negative people, I started to learn that I personally had a hard time keeping a positive mindset when I was surrounded by large quantities of negative people. For instance, maybe a family party. Or in this case, going to Walmart and going to Target. So large amounts of people. Every single time I would go to Walmart, I would find myself overwhelmed by the negativity just by listening to people. So the first step I did was listen to music when I was in there. However, some of you are going to understand this when I say it. Being an empath, I could feel the negative energy. Whether you believe in people being an empath and feeling energy or not, I'm telling you that it is true. It's just not commonly talked about that external energies of people that you are around can drastically affect you. And in this case, when you're an empath, when you have a whole bunch of negativity around you, it really, really, really hits you hard. And it's really difficult to keep a positive mindset when you're around a large amount of negativity. It was the same thing when it came to Target. I did the same thing when it came to music, and I learned that being around that many negative people was not good for me. So some of the things that I did initially was I stopped going to Walmart and I stopped going to Target. Now, let's look at it on the opposite perspective. I would go to Whole Foods. All right. When I would go to Whole Foods, you got to understand that the energy is completely different because typically the demographic is different. And the demographic that shops at Walmart typically and Target typically is different than demographic that shops at Whole Foods. So what I did was I replaced, even if I couldn't afford the food, I was still in there and buying things here and there, right? Rather than, doing shopping there every week, which is what we graduated to, but I learned to move myself out of these drastic, negative, large quantities of people, okay? And I made that switch. And that is something that you also need to understand too, is that you have to cut large groups of negative people out to keep a positive mindset. And when you begin to start auditing the people that you're around, like unfortunately, your family a lot of times is guilty of this. They have great intentions. They're your family, but they're negative as fuck. And when you start auditing the people that you keep around you in your life and start putting that into perspective, that they're negative and that negativity is affecting your positivity, this is when you're going to notice drastic changes in keeping your positive mindset more often than slipping into negative, because you're moving negative people out of your life. And when I'm using family as an example, I'm not saying you're kicking them out of your life and you're shutting the door on them. I'm just saying that you're spending less and less time around them, and you're not giving them your energy or as much as you used to. So let's use the example of you go to a family party and you know you have a really negative aunt. Rather than engaging with your negative aunt and sitting there and listening to her bitch and moan and complain about everything, you acknowledge your negative aunt, say hello, and then go about doing whatever you're doing. And if she pursues you, you close the conversation down and move on to another conversation with someone else, and you avoid. And that is one way of doing things. But it doesn't just stop when it comes to negative places or people in your life. You also have to audit what you're putting into your head when it comes to news. I'm telling you, every single news channel you watch is negative. You have to audit who you follow on social media. You have to audit the movies that you're watching, and you have to audit the music and podcasts that you're listening to or YouTube channels that you're listening to. The diet that you put into your brain very often could be negative and you don't realize it. Think about one of your favorite songs. One of the favorite songs you like to sing to. Is it the artist singing about a heartbreak, or is it the artist singing about tough times? Does it land really well with you? Are you singing it? Are you definitely putting it into your head? Think about the social media. Are you constantly watching people on social media that have problems with things and that are always bitching and moaning about things? Think about the news that you're watching. There is no news channel that's positive. It's all negative. Negativity sells, drama sells. We all know that. And you have to be very aware of what you're putting into your brain and who you're spending time around. And what you have to begin to do is, once you recognize all these things and you begin working them out, you have to begin rebuilding who and what you surround yourself with, just like me talking about rebuilding where I was shopping. Rather than shopping at Target and Walmart, I started shopping at Whole Foods, right? You have to rebuild. Rather than putting mainstream news media into your head, self-educate, right? I haven't had cable in many years, and my mental mindset is 99% positive because I don't put negativity in. Using social media, you have to rebuild it, right? So let's say I'm on Instagram and I see this pattern of someone being very negative. I just unfollow them. On Facebook, I unfollow them and I restrict them. On Instagram, I restrict them too. I never see them again. I never see that negativity. And what I do is I'll follow people who are positive. So when you open up my news feed on any social media, 95% of it's positive because I've audited it. And I've audited the music that I'm putting into my brain, and I audit the movies and the podcasts that I listen to. And truth be told, guys, the podcasts that I listen to have changed drastically, and who I used to think was very strong and positive preaches negativity. And you got to be really aware of what you're putting into your mind. Don't ever forget that your mental diet is even more important than your physical diet, because everything starts with your thoughts, and your thoughts are programmed by your subconscious. And if you want to have a positive mindset and maintain it, you have to cut the negativity out. So the only way to build and maintain a positive mindset is to cut the negativity out, and it's really that simple. All right, that's what I got for you today, guys. And I want you to know that if you constantly are auditing what you're putting into your mind, who you're spending time with, and where you're going, you too can not only build a positive mindset, but you can move away from the negativity and the mindset that comes with it. So, guys, I'm rooting for you. If you learned anything today, drop a comment below, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.